When you set high standards and take action congruent with those standards that you've thought about, you'll enjoy success and bliss. As English philosopher and physical John Locke once said, I have always thought the action of men the best interpreters of their thoughts. I have always thought the action of men the best interpreters of their thoughts. Okay, with the seeds firmly planted in your brain, it is much easier to act a certain way if you're aligned. I know positive thinkers who have won in life, but I also know many skeptical and pessimistic thinkers who have succeeded in life as well. I know some people with a tremendous vision who have won, and the people with equally big vision who have lost. I also know some people with a limited vision who have succeeded. I know big and aggressive thinkers who have won and others who are conservative and the risk averse who have won as well. There is no single way of thinking that causes people to be successful, but there is only one way of acting and behaving that can lead to. My voice is unstable, I don't know. Okay, it's okay. But there is only one way of acting and behaving that can lead to extraordinary results, become a one more impossibility. Thinker and possibility achiever, reflecting on Martin Luther King Jr. and the strength to love. If you know anything about me, you know I believe Martin Luther King Jr. is one of the finest human beings who ever lived. Martin Luther King, right? I look to him often with reverence and as a source of comfort and common sense. I want to share this passage from his collection of sermons, Strength to Love, because of its profound impact on me, and I hope it will have the same effect on you as well. There is no final way to sum up the ongoing challenge of what it means to be an impossibility thinker and possibility achiever than these words. One of the great tragedies, I'm sorry. One of the great tragedies of life is that men seldom bridge the gulf between practice and profession, between doing and saying. A persistent schizophrenia leaves so many of us tragically divided against ourselves. On the uh, on the one hand, we proudly profess certain sublime and noble principles, but on the other hand, we sadly practice a very antithesis of these principles. How often are our lives characterized by high blood pressure of crease and an anemia of these? We talk eloquently about our commitment to the principle of Christianity, and yet our lives are saturated in practices of paganism. We proclaim our devotion to democracy, but we sadly practice the very opposite of democratic creed. We talk passionately about peace, and at the same time, we assiduously prepare for war. Oh, we make our fervent place for the high road of justice, and then we tread unflinchingly the low road of injustice. This strange dichotomy, this agonizing gulf between the and the is, represents a tragic theme of man's earthly pilgrimage. Okay, one more habit. Your network to the world is usually determined by what remains after your bad habits are subtracted from your good ones. Benjamin Franklin, show me your habits and I will show you your life. Oh, show me your habits and then I'll show you your life. I can predict with a high degree of accuracy the results you are going to achieve based on your habits because the outcomes in your life are directly related to your habits. Your brain understands the importance of habits because it's an incredibly efficient organ. The brain's DNA is hardwired to protect you by conserving mental energy whenever it can. Saving energy means that reserves can apply to other parts of your life where more brain power is needed. What does that have to do with habits? Your brain is constantly trying to save energy. This is an important point to understand because it directly relates to how to build and change your habits and why you even have a habit in the first place. Habits are a direct result of your brain subconsciously taking actions in a way to ensure that you use less energy to get the desired outcome. With the habits, your brain already knows what you need to do, and it switches to an autopilot mode, much like in setting a car on cruise control to create a maximum fuel efficiency. Think of how many times you've awakened in the morning and gone through your routine of grooming, getting dressed, and eating breakfast. If you have an set schedule, there is a good chance that most days you will sleepwalk during all these tests before fully realizing you are awake and ready to start your day. You know that jolt, your first moment of morning clarity, and it rarely strikes when you first wake up. You got to the point in the day because your habits carried you through. Here's the kicker. Several studies have shown that most of the actions you take are habits. Some people drink two cups of coffee by 8 a.m. without fail. Other people eat lunch at precisely the same time every day. Golfers and have exacting routine when they're swinging a club, and the people who go to the gym often do so on the same days of the week and do the same workouts every time. Sometimes these habits are even more specific, more routine, and we are even less aware of them. For example, most people either brush their teeth first or jump into the shower first to start their day. It never varies. How about you? Which do you do first, and how often do you think about it? Let's take it a step further. We'll talk more about triggers further down in this chapter. But for now, when you step into the shower, the water isn't a trigger that starts a habit of what you do in the shower. Do you start by shampooing your head? Do you grab a bar of soap and the lather of your face and then the rest of your body? Do you routinely stand and just let the water run over your back for a minute while you're relaxing or starting to plan your day? All but there's a growing considering you go through it every day and you don't think about it, do you? That's a prime example of how habits work. When you get in your car to begin to work commit and turning the car on and a trigger that starts in a habit of how you will drive to work. Your brain goes into the habit mode because you've already driven to work so many times that your brain knows what to do with all the less active thinking. on your part. That single trigger of starting your car initiates a habit that lasts for the duration of your commute to work, saving you a lot of brain energy in the process. Yeah, countless types of activities or habits. You don't think about them, you just do them. And many times those habits work out just fine for you. But not always. Sometimes you develop bad habits and they don't end up serving you well. When that happens, if you want to change your life for the better, pay close attention to your habits and make changes that align with what you want out of life. Be intentional about your habits. Under pressure, you always move into the habitual mode, and your brain habitually reflects it. For example, if you want to maintain a high level of fitness, but you're in the habit of only going to the gym twice a week, and you sneak a lot of junk food into your diet, you're not going to achieve that goal. Yeah. If you want a cozy, neat, and happy family life, you schedule a date and night once a week with your spouse, okay? The types of habits that create a happy family life for you. Perhaps you want more peace in your life, but you don't cultivate the habit of praying, meditating, or going to church. How will you calm your mind? If you don't do the things you need to put you in a state of grace, or if you want to be a great leader, but don't actively apply critical principles of leadership in your work or personal life. Okay, getting fired up about living your life well each day is important, but nowhere near as important as in having a good habits. Octavia Butler put it into perspective this way when she said, "Forget inspiration, a habit is more dependable. Habits will sustain you whether you're inspired or not." That's true. Contrary to what you believe and what you may have been told, the biggest separator in life is not motivation or inspiration. It is the habits you create to get you through during those days when you don't really feel like doing the thing you need to do to be successful. Okay. The biggest separator in life is not motivation or inspiration. It is the habit you create to get you through those days when you don't really feel like doing the things you need to do to be successful. Okay. What do you do when you're not feeling great or when it's not your best day? How do you make progress on your projects or your goals at those times? As your rituals and the habits. That's true. Yeah, definitely, right? So I still commit my routine every single day, even though it's just, I feel, yeah, I'm feeling low, but still I keep doing it because, those kind of habits, it's just, do it. It's just, kind of autopilot mode. I don't really just, try to put the effort to continue to do it, right? Yeah. So creating positive and effective habits will change your life. Oh, creating positive and effective habits will change your life. The good news is that this can take place with just a few simple steps. There is no need to overcomplicate the process. However, before you can learn how to do this, it is crucial to understand how habits are born, why we rely on them so much, and what happens inside of our brain and when habit kicks in. The science of habits. When you understand how habits are created and why your brain uses them to benefit you, learning how to upgrade your habits makes more sense. Life would be so much easier if we live in a relaxed state all day long. Instead, often, we live with varying degrees of pressure and stress. This stress and it can be caused by anything such as paying bills and heating pressure. Okay, I don't want to read this one. On the one hand, okay, on the one hand, you view this as normal part of your life. However, in neurological terms, your brain doesn't distinguish between these events and it treats them as threats. When you perceive these threats, and our brain flips a switch, moves in out of thinking mode, and goes into relaxed mode. We react and revert to what we know as a form of protection. And what we know are our habits. In biological terms, in response to a perceived threat, your hypothalamus activates and prompts your adrenal gland to release hormones including adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline increases in your heart rate, raises your blood pressure and the energy levels. Cortisol is in the body is a primary stress hormone, and when it's activated, it releases glucose into your bloodstream. That triggers several bodily functions, including alarm systems in the region of the brain that control mood, motivation, and fear. Also, when stress hits and you go into a habit mode. Uh, okay, when stress hits and you go into a habit mode, if you don't have the right habits in place, you will sink into depression, despair, and fear. When this repeatedly happens in over a long period, it can lead to chronic anxiety, heart disease, and sleep problems, weight gain, digestive problems, and memory and concentration and degradation, among others. By contrast, when you engage in positive habits that results in good outcomes, your body produces dopamine. Dopamine creates a sense of euphoria. And this euphoria dials in your body systems in the back and conserve energy, which is what your brain naturally tries to do as much as possible. If your habits involve confidence, passion, resilience, and strength and peace, you will reflexively respond with those emotions when stress hits. Dopamine pathways control the operations of their basal ganglia. Basal ganglia is located near the base and the bottom of the brain. This cluster of nuclei has extensive roles in the brain, including involvement in a variety of cognitive, emotional, and movement-related functions. Here's how this all ties back to the habits. Brains can change and adapt as a result of experience. This is known as brain plasticity and neuroplasticity. Neurons are the building blocks of the brain and the neuron systems. Nervous system. Neuroplasticity means they can be rewired and develop new pathways and create new connections. When basal ganglia engage in neuroplasticity, this is how new habits are created. Neuroplasticity is what allows you to learn new things, enhance your existing cognitive capabilities, recover from strokes and traumatic brain injury, and strengthen some brain functions that you lost or are in decline. Now let's take this science and plug into how you can develop one more new habit. Trigger, action, praise. Let's one more thing. Your goal is to create new habits that focus on releasing dopamine and minimizing perceived stress. That release adrenaline and cortisol. Keep in mind, habits are directly related to your emotions and that are controlled by your basal ganglia where emotions emanate. Whether you realize it or not, these habitual emotions control you. So when you reframe your emotions, you also reframe your habits. Because the habits make up so much of your life, you can make a tremendous strides in all areas that you want to improve when you adjust your way of thinking and develop positive habits. Creating new habits involves three steps to trigger the action and the praise. Okay, leadership. Now, habits like I know how to make it. One more prayer. Okay, the first goal of the class of natural science will make your end this. But it's the bottom of the class and the guy is waiting. Think, did I read this one or not? I don't know, I'm not sure. I feel like I read already. Hmm. One more. One more. One more. I had many. If a Fanny insists, I started waiting to the power of one more. However, one of them stands above all the others. I realized my life and the business philosophy comes from my relationship with my hero and my father, Edward Joseph Mallet Jr. My belief that people can change and the reason I'm in the field of helping people to better in life is because the man I love and I love to above all others did just that. Although I've shared several things with you, none is more essential or difficult for me to write about than one last and one more. When you watch the person you're closest to in life live in a certain way and then commit to the profound change when faced with one last and one more, it not only changes them, it changes you too. Hmm. Over the course of this lifetime, this is a story of how my father taught me. One of the life's most priceless lesson. I know you will find value in it too. The lesson of one more begins here. Okay, I don't want to read this one. His father was, a colleague. Okay, it is just like, old example of experience. I don't want to read this one. Okay, this book is like, okay. What about the trailer? This one, hmm, what the author? What about the instruction of the instruction? The power of humor is then a culmination of the philosophy I've been debating for more 30 years. At its core, the power of humor is about willingness to do one more read, make one more phone call, get out 1 hour earlier, build one more relationship, or do one more thing for whatever your situation calls for. You can find your best life by doing one more than the world expects from you. I rather empower more to transform your life by adapting strategies I've successfully used time and time again. By living a remote life, you can completely change your relationships and finances and emotions, the way you do business, your outlook on life, and more. You are not born to be average or ordinary. You are born to do something great with your life. I know this about you. The power of is a dynamic contract between us. It's an important exchange of ideas and knowledge. Depending on who you are, what I'm about to teach you will impact each one of you differently. By changing how you think and act, you will find answers in those areas of life that matters most to you. The beauty of all this is that most of the times the answers are relatively simple. But for whatever reasons, you may not have been able to see them and resolve them on your own. Figuring out where to begin can feel daunting. Most people are under the impression there are thousands of different things you must do to change their lives. Nothing could be further from the truth. I've learned, and you will too, that one more thing is often all it takes, and frequently it's only one more steps away from where you are now. Begin with one more, you're a lot closer to changing your life than you think. You're one more meeting, one more relationship, and one more decision, and one more action, or one more thought from leading the life you deserve. The power of one more challenges you to become hyper-focused and addicted to searching for the one mores in your life. The more you begin to see them and then ask the actions to realize them, the more your life will change. The individual thoughts and actions you take don't need to be profound. However, when you compound these small thoughts and actions to stack them up on top of each other, the resulting changes over time are profound. Okay.